Hey, welcome to How to in a Few. It's been a busy day today. I'm nice and dirty from all the projects I'm getting done. The last thing that I'm going to do today, I figured I might as well video this, even though it's probably already too late by the time it gets up on YouTube. I'm going to show you today how to make a solar eclipse viewer that will be safe for you and your kids to view a solar eclipse. Now, our eclipse is tomorrow, so as I said, it's a little bit too late, but then it dawned on me, you know what? Eclipses, although they're rare and don't happen all the time, they do periodically happen in different parts of the world, and who knows, maybe you want to look at it and you couldn't get glasses, or to tell you the truth, looking at it with the glasses is really not that cool. I mean, it's cool, you should get some of those glasses if you can, but making your own viewer to project the eclipse can be kind of an exciting project for your students, your family, your kids, or even just for yourself if you want to try something different. Maybe experiment around with some different lenses to get some better effects. So, parts we're going to need is some cardboard, a piece of wood, and maybe some white paper to make a little presentation screen in the background. So I'm going to get started now. I'm actually still waiting on some dollar store reading glasses. If you get the dollar store reading glasses plus one magnification or so, it makes for a really nice image of the sun during the eclipse on your backdrop projector device. I know that doesn't really tell you what I'm going to do, but I'll show you right now. Alright, you can see we have a box here. It doesn't really matter what kind of box. You can use scissors to cut. I'm using a box cutter, the true intended purpose of a box cutter. And so now I have these two pieces, okay, that are kind of convenient. And let me just scale this up real quick so you see what I'm talking about making here. We're going to have this front section that's going to have our lens, and then we'll have this back section which is going to act as our screen to be projected on. So it would have been nice if I washed my hands first, right? And you can almost make this in probably about 5 minutes total time. Well, if you have younger kids, you might want to not do that, what I just did. This is really sticky Gorilla Tape. Much better duct tape than most of the other brands. Alright, but if you have younger kids, you might want to decorate it and maybe make it look good. Dress it up a little bit. Draw some moons and suns, etc. But we are literally trying to get this done as fast as possible. It's interesting to note, if you just happen to be watching this preparing for a solar eclipse, that there's kind of a mad dash right before a solar eclipse to get the glasses, and they'll actually run out. So whereas you might have gotten them earlier for free, once you get closer to the solar eclipse, it's almost impossible to get them. In fact, there are some for sale on eBay right now for locally in the area to pick up for $70. These are paper glasses. It's crazy. We secured some from a local science center that we went to and toured. Alright, it's a little crooked, but so our projector surface is set. Now we're just waiting on the lenses, and I'll make a little cut. for our lens. And that's where our lens is going to fit. I'll show you that as soon as it arrives. But what's going to happen now, once we put our lens, is that we'll have to actually get to the focal point. So we won't tape this yet until we find exactly where our lens needs to be. Once we get a nice clear image, we'll tape this down. Now incidentally, even if you don't have a solar eclipse, this is a cool way to look at the sun. I'm going to take it over into the sun right now just to show you real quick the effect before we get the lens. Alright, so here we are in the sun. And the easiest way to line it up, let me make sure you can see the shadow. I guess you can. Easy ways to line it up, okay, there's the shadow, is that once the two box pieces line up, I don't even have to look up. See, I'm actually looking down. I'm actually looking at the camera. I can see there that they're lined up, so that tells me that I'm in the right orientation to see the sun. And I'll turn around so we see it. So once I'm in the right orientation, a bright spot appears on our backdrop. Now if we had the lens, we could actually focus that in and see the sun. Don't have any lenses? I'll tell you another trick. Cover that hole that I just put in there with aluminum foil, and then take a pin and make a very, very small hole with a pin, not a pen, a pin in that aluminum foil, and then you can do the same, because that pinhole will act like a pinhole camera and give you an image. The problem is it'll be much smaller. You'll likely be somewhere here and have an image of the sun that may be a little bit smaller than a pencil eraser. With the reading glasses, I'm hoping to get something closer to the size of a nickel, maybe if we're lucky a quarter. Either way, this way, by building a device like this, you can safely watch eclipses without looking up at the sun, without risking your children or yourself having any kind of permanent eye damage. So next shot coming up is going to be once we get our lens and we'll finish putting this together. Alright, so the magic of Hollywood, we're right back even though it's several hours later. We have a 1.25 and a 3.25. Now, honestly, I want to try the 3.25 to see what size image we get first. And I guess I should, let me get you a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so here's our 3.25. I'm going to go ahead and try to pop out the other image, the other lens, that is. It's not cooperating. There we go. So we now have a 3.25 lens. And boy, did we make that dirty. Oh well, just going to be dirty. Take a piece of tape that I have, maybe. I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking this is never going to work. Well, the fact that the the sun just kind of disappeared behind the clouds, you might be right, but let's see. Alright, so our lens is now taped down. Let's grab a little extra tape, just in case this works out good. I'll put it right here so that we can set it up. Alright, let's move to the sun. Alright, so now we're in the sun. Sun is in a different orientation. You can tell by my shadow where we are, and we do have a lens, so let's see. And we conveniently got that tape all dirty, but now we will try to line them up again like before, and if you see, it's a nice square, but as we move closer we end up with a circle. Alright, that circle is about the size of an eraser. Notice though the clouds in the background, right? So we can see that this is actually an image. I'm hoping you can see that. And I'm gonna maybe zoom in on that. Alright, so we can actually see that there are, not only is the sun, but there are clouds in the background and actually 2 electrical wires from the telephone poles above me that are showing up on the image. But I do not like the size of the image we're getting, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other lens that we have. Alright, so that was our 3.25 lens test. Epic failure. Let me pop out this 1.25. Probably would have liked a 1.0, but people might be starting to catch on to this technique. There weren't any. Alright, we're dissecting this lens. Going to slide in our 1.25. Reapply our tape. Main thing is that there's no light leaking or no holes, because we want only the light coming through this lens to strike our background. I could have left this tape thick. In fact, I don't want any nonsense for tomorrow. So this viewer is actually going to a family friend of ours, so I will child-proof this a little more. Plus it's going to look better, right? Give me a better reputation. Alright, so now it doesn't look, well, it still looks pretty rigged up, but alright, there we go. Nice lens in place. And let's get this dirty tape off that we messed up on, because this is going to be the actual final setting once we set this up. Let's move back to the sun. Alright, so here we are again. This time I didn't drop it. There is, I probably need to zoom out a little bit. Out. So there's our backdrop. Here's our lens piece. You know, we're going to experiment with it backwards just to see what happens, right? So now backwards, we're going to line it up looking at the shadow on the ground like I showed you before. Hey, that's not too bad. So I'd say that's maybe not dime size, but we're getting a picture of the sun. Let me flip the lens, because this is the way I really wanted it to be. So about the same. And looks like we planned this piece of wood just right. And I want the sharpest picture possible. You can see, hopefully you can see that the power lines are showing up. It's getting blurry on the power lines. The sun's blurry, and when I pull back, sun gets blurry. I'm worried about the sun, so I want the sun as sharp as possible. And I'm going to call it right about there. My tape not cooperating. I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm trying to tape the tape down. So now our lens end is at the right configuration. Let me scale out. So I'm lining it up. I can see the sun, I can see clouds in the background. And I see some sun shining through the tape, which makes me think that I'm going to go ahead and put a little more tape and see what happens. So here we have a close-up view, and today it's nothing special because it's not a solar eclipse, but come tomorrow we will slowly but steadily see the moon obstructing the lens, and we should, I can't find the lens at this point. Alright, so here's the lens. We should eventually see an eclipse happen, and that's a poor excuse for eclipse, my hand, but you get the idea. It's going to end up looking like it's getting a bite taken out of it. Now this is still a pretty bright image, but this will not damage your eyes, and should clouds pass like before, there's no clouds now. Currently we've cleared up pretty good, so we only see the sun. Be sure that when you design this that you get a perfectly round shape, because that's the sun. If it's still square, then what you're actually doing is just projecting light in the shape of the lens or the hole that you cut. Once it's in focus, you've focused the light and you're actually seeing an image. And I wish the clouds would be back again so that we could see the power lines, because right now you can't see the power lines due to the fact that the contrast level is way too high. Sun's very bright and the rest is not. If some clouds were to come into the scene, then there would kind of be, it's not really an aperture adjustment, but it would change and you'd be able to see the clouds and other items. But there you go, safe way to view the solar eclipse. And there's our lens, and there's our sun. Alright, so we're well into the heat of the afternoon. There you have it, a simple solar eclipse viewer. There's plenty of other designs with cereal boxes, shoe boxes, etc., which tend to get a smaller effect. This is a pretty good effect, much better than other pinhole viewers. You know, the thing is, a 3-hour eclipse, that's a long time with not very much happening on a minute-by-minute basis, so kids are going to tend to get bored. But during primetime viewing, or maybe if you go out every 30 minutes, you'll see a drastic difference. If you're a teacher, ask the kids to sketch and then try to compare sketches between different classes. If you're elementary school, maybe every 45 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you can do, take them out, draw a sketch, and then they can compare the sketches across 30-minute intervals, and you'll get a much better effect in the end. Personally, digital camera, we're going to be taking pictures of it periodically, and then I can put that together, and you'll see the movement and effect afterwards. My viewer is a little more advanced than this, but this is a great start, great family project, great classroom project. Nobody has to be scared of an eclipse if you are smart about it and make yourself a safe viewer so you're not looking directly at the sun. Hopefully that worked for you. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe, etc. That helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.